All right, welcome in. This is going to be a free course on how to email college baseball coaches. And this is going to give you a quite comprehensive approach on how to go from being overlooked to landing college offers. So let's go through this agenda for episode number 1: how coaches actually evaluate high school baseball talent, why email at the end of the day matters the most, a little bit about who I am for those that are just coming across my page for the very first time, what your path forward could look like, and let's get started. So, why most players are getting ignored? Well, first and foremost, emails are looking quite literally desperate, right? There's no structure. Maybe it's a blob of text. Maybe it's just unprofessional. Maybe there's no personalization in these emails that actually address these college baseball coaches. Maybe you're including stats but not including metrics, right? Metrics are very important. Think your 60-yard dash time, your arm velocity, your exit velocity. Maybe you're including just how many walks or how many strikeouts, your son had in high school or in travel ball or last season, or what his batting average is. That's probably one of the most common ones. College coaches don't care about that. Also, sometimes bad timing when it comes to strategically emailing these college coaches. And it's really funny because I see probably over 200 recruiting emails a month. And I'm not even a college baseball coach. And I'll say maybe 90, maybe 95% of them are just complete and utter junk. All right. So let's talk about it. Coaches do not have the time. They receive hundreds, if not thousands, of emails every single week. Again, guys, I just had 200 a month for myself, and I'm not even a college baseball coach, right? So they scan the majority of these emails, and they sort through them, and they reply only to the players who look like they've had some coaching. And at the end of the day, you want your son to look coach, not lost, right? We don't want him to look lost. We want him to look coached, right? So the 3 filters that college baseball coaches will ultimately use is, number 1, in their mind, they're thinking to themselves, who is this kid? Do they fit our division level, whether it's D1 all the way through D3 or JUCO? Does this email look legit? You'd be surprised. Obviously, I get a bunch of spammed emails, and sometimes I don't know what's real and what's fake. And the email itself, you have to realize this for your son. It's his first impression to these college baseball coaches, and it's very, very important. A lot of people use their strategic approach by DMing these college coaches, whether it's on Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok, for whatever reason. The reason that we never use DMs as our main strategic basically acquisition source, right, for these college coaches and the conversations that we're trying to generate, because it's easy. It's way too easy to lose these conversations, and we don't want these conversations to be lost. They're not searchable. I don't know if anyone has used the searching interface inside Instagram or on Twitter to find certain conversations, but it is an absolute nightmare. There's no structure really when it comes to DMs. Yes, it's raw. Yes, there can be college scholarships that are created and generated through DMs, but in the whole grand scheme of things, we're not going over, maybe a percentage of the whole pie. We're trying to take over that entire pie. So email is the real recruiting strategy. It's where real decisions from the college baseball coaching staff originate, right? And I want to make this very, very clear. If I was recruiting you, yes, you, the parent probably watching this video right now, your email matters more than anything else than what you're doing, right? And yes, like physical development will always trump a lot of the things, but if that doesn't scare you, if that doesn't also remind you of maybe the last job interview and how you had to compete against a stack, of resumes, college baseball recruiting is just as competitive. So we have to think about college recruiting in the baseball sphere and really job opportunities and these resumes and how to differentiate ourselves, right? So what this free course is going to give you, it's going to give you a real outreach foundation. For those that do know me, I stutter sometimes. It's something that I've kind of overcome, but a repeatable structure for either you or your son to email these college coaches. By the way, your son should be originating contact with these college coaches. It should not be coming from the parent. But anyway, a system that ultimately generates these responses from college coaches. At the end of the day, guys, all we're trying to generate are responses, are conversations, and from those conversations, that's where commitments happen. So what this course isn't going to give you are any type of like NCAA rule loopholes, right? Think of like the tax code, right? It's like 800 pages or whatever, right? I'm not going to give you all the loopholes that I teach for all my students. I'm not going to teach you also like the mass outreach automation that I teach all my students. And then that higher level strategy, that's going to be reserved for my full-time coaching students. Before we start, I think it's important to understand a little bit more about my story. So I was on varsity 4 years in high school. My freshman year, I went to Severna Park High School in Severna Park, Maryland. The competition wasn't as good, but my family and I moved down to Sarasota, Florida, to Sarasota High School from sophomore to senior year, and the competition was elite. And that's how I ultimately generated by also playing some travel ball. A college scholarship to play at North Carolina State University. I studied aerospace engineering when I was there, so maybe a little bit of what you're seeing right here might make sense with you guys as far as a little bit about what's in between my ears. I was also drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals in the 11th round from NC State as a third baseman. For a lot of those that don't know, I was a two-way in high school. I got committed to NC State as a two-way. I actually pitched my freshman year, and I was the Saturday starter my freshman year, even though throughout, that freshman season, my pitching career did not do so well. So I got drafted and made that transition also my sophomore year to a third baseman. Got drafted by the St. Louis Cardinals, played there for 6 years, and then I got traded over to the Padres, played there with 1 year. I battled a couple of injuries. The most recent one in 2023, tore my adductor, grade 3 tear on the 9th game of the season. It wasn't ideal. And that was actually right after I appeared in the World Baseball Classic representing Colombia, which is where my dad is from. So what you're about to learn is, at the end of the day, how to email these college baseball coaches, how to build a school list, how to personalize these emails, how to follow up, and how to track interest. Guys, the simple goal is help your son stand out in a pile of 500 plus emails that these college coaches will receive every single week. I'm also going to give you a little bit of a glimpse of what the Triple Play system looks like. That's my program. It covers the physical development with workout programs written by a New York Mets strength coach, so that way we're developing in the right baseball-specific manner. The mental development, obviously, to make sure that we're not neglecting the mental side, and that way we can build some frameworks to overcome some struggles in between the ears. And then also on the recruiting strategy, which I'm going to be kind of giving you a little bit of a glimpse of right here, right now. You definitely want to keep watching because episode 2 is really where the real work starts.